Good afternoon. Okay, so today is the final day of your training. Okay, AI900 training. Okay, getting ready for the certification for all our 50 candidates. Okay, from first year and first, second year, and also a guest few of our third year student who want to joining in. Okay, we encourage them to. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, we will take a group photo later on. Okay, I've tested out the theme for us. Okay, so this is the fourth session. Okay, which is the learning path 4. Okay, the final one. Okay, for AI fundamental. Okay, which is to explore fundamental of natural processing. So there's a few exercises that require you to do, okay, which are, let me see. Or before, rasanya boleh lah kot, okay. So this is one of the things that require you to tell me, okay. So based on perhaps your knowledge about natural language processing. Yes, so this is a pre-lecture on natural processing before you know what is the exact concept of natural processing, the type of NLP and so forth. Can you tell me two real-world applications of natural language processing if we go even further lah, okay, on this topic? Okay, I'll share you the link. And give me two. So 3 questions. Give you 5 minutes. Okay. Can you view my screen? Okay. Double check my phone here. Chatbots, email filters. Okay, good answer. Ketaf sikit ni okay, untuk NLP ni. So remember the differences between machine learning, okay, yang kita belajar tadi, computer vision, okay, natural language processing. NL, natural language, can be, of course, it's text lah. Can be text, can be speech, audio. Right? Only one yang ni, seorang saja yang answer. after we completed the I cover course. Okay, later I will show you again. Okay, to this browser lah. Okay, so that you know. Okay, what is actually the two applications that relates to NLP. Siri, Alexa. Okay. Okay, take your time. Okay, saya akan refer balik kat sini nanti. Okay, so we continue to cover on the fundamental AI. Okay, for again, okay, same with other learning path. Okay, we cover two modules, okay, which is the fundamental dengan the practical lah. Okay, what are the services that provided by this Microsoft Azure, okay, for all the AI punya component lah. So for the last part is natural language processing. Okay, so you know, NLP is also a branch of AI lah, okay, artificial intelligence that which deal with interaction lah between the computer dengan human languages. Okay, the human languages. So NLP aims, okay, to enable, okay, the computers to understand, to analyze, to generate, and as well as to manipulate, okay, natural language text ataupun speech, and text or speech. Some of the application of this NLP include machine translation, okay, and then speech recognition, sentiment analysis, text summarization, okay, questions answering, and as well as chatbots. Chatbots yang bagi kita tadi lah, macam ChatGPT. Okay. And this Microsoft Azure offers back to the second module, which is the building natural language solution in Azure. Okay, it offers a comprehensive, okay, suite of natural language solution that enables, okay, the developers, okay, the data analysts to build up intelligent application that can be understand and can generate natural language. Okay, Azure cognitive natural language again is a languages like it can be English, it can be Malay, it can be Tamil, ke dalam semua bentuk languages, human languages lah. So Azure Cognitive Services provide pre-built, okay, pre-built API for common natural language tasks such as the sentiment. Apa dia sentiment analysis that I guess in the early module pun kita dah cover sentiment kan, sentiment analysis, the entity recognition, okay, the text summarization, and the conversational conversational agents. Azure machine learning, okay, allows this developer to create a custom natural language models using state-of-art framework kat sini, okay, and as well as the tool. So Azure also support open source, okay, natural language frameworks such as the TensorFlow, okay, the PyTorch, and as well as the Sparsy lah. Okay, those are actually the well-known technology. Okay, Python guna Python, and TensorFlow even. So with Azure, developers can leverage the power of cloud computing and as well as artificial AI, okay, to build scalable and as well as reliable. Yang penting tu reliable, okay, natural language solution. Okay, and it covers of course the 6 AI responsibility juga. Kena jaga security dia. So let's start with the introduction to natural language processing. So this natural language, what is natural language processing? Let us watch the video, this video first.
So think about this. How often are you alive when the dawn of a new medium comes out? I knew that I had to be a part of VR because there are no rules for what VR should be. Starship Commander is a choose your own adventure VR narrative that uses natural language processing So you can actually have a real conversation with the characters.
I'm Sergeant Sarah Pearson. I've been assigned to your wing today.
When we started making Starship Commander, we had to figure out, how do we get technology that can understand what a person's saying so that we can have these new narrative experiences? We're a science fiction game. We come up with new words. No off the shelf software could let us put in custom words.
Who are the Echnians?
In our story, the bad guys are called the Echnians. And every time we said Echnian, you would come up with really weird words that were similar to other things that you would say. And so it would get confused all the time. So we needed to make sure that we could supply our own script. We started using Microsoft Cognitive Services to power the backend of Starship Commander.
Looks cool.
Once we plugged custom speech service into Starship Commander, I had tears in my eyes when I was playing it, because it's like, oh my God, this is it. This is the experience we want. Open the hatch.
Voice print accepted. Welcome, Commander.
You can essentially put your script in there and it knows, oh, these are the ways that people are going to talk. And these are the phrases that they're going to say. Cool. What's my mission?
Must be something pretty important.
And then the second thing too was the intent detection. With Lewis, you basically give it a couple statements. After you've given it a couple statements, you crunch it and you start typing in your own statements. And it's shockingly scary how good it picks up, even stuff that you didn't put in there. Computer, use autopilot and let's be on our way.
Autopilot engaging.
I've never seen an opportunity like this, where there's a wide open playing field. No one's written the rules yet. There's going to be tons of amazing software out there, and I just can't wait to see what other people write.
Okay, that's one. So these are the NLPs, okay, provided services. Okay, let me show you another application, okay, which is Grammarly. If you have heard about it, okay, let's see what's the services being provided. Like this.
My job is to make college easier because students have a lot on them. Sorry, coach. Please. Like Harper, an econ major who piles on the pressure. Grammarly can help her stress less.
This term paper's got to be great. It's a third of my grade.
Your ideas are on the money. Let's make sure they come across clearly with Grammarly. Watch it work. Watch it work.
Wow, that is stronger.
And Avery, an engineering major who runs on ambition and coffee. Grammarly can get her her dream job.
My application needs to stand out. They only meet with the top candidates.
If you want to make a good impression and nail your delivery, use Grammarly. You don't want to pull another all-nighter, do you? Now that's taking it to the end zone. Yeah. Oh, touchdown with Grammarly. And Blake, an education major who knows what he wants. So you're going to be a school teacher.
Yeah, but first I need to get my senior thesis over the finish line. Keep repeating the same words.
Let Grammarly help you find the right words faster. Grammarly, do your magic. And you did it in one place. Grammarly means better results. That's why it's the writing tool selected by 3,000 schools and universities. Try Grammarly for free by clicking the blue button. Class dismissed. Go on, download Grammarly today. Blue button. Right there, Grammarly. Oh, yeah. Click it. Don't look at us. Just a coach in the dark. It's all right. You click that blue button. All right. You've seen it before, haven't you? Grammarly for the win.
Okay, so this Grammarly is actually more to text analyzer and as well as text grammar, okay, and plagiarisms, okay, as well. It can summarize your text. So mainly more text analyzer, lah, okay. Another one. Okay. Mm, that's Satu lagi is Luis. If you heard of Luis just now, it's a part of Microsoft. Okay, as well. Okay.
Lewis, the Language Understanding Intelligence Service, enables developers to build self-learning language understanding models easily.
Schedule a meeting with Carol tomorrow at 3. Find me good deals on black dresses.
Okay, what size?
Medium. When is Sarah's next vaccine?
March 2016.
It's simple. Let's start with a few examples. Create new entity type. Select pre-built entities. Create intent. Add action parameters. Label few examples. Train. Publish and test. Your app is ready. Lewis adds conversational intelligence to services across all devices.
Okay, this Luis was offered earlier in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, but this is offered by under Microsoft Azure. Okay, and unfortunately, Luis will be retired on October. Okay, 2025, another 3 more years lah. Okay, and starting this April. Okay, first. Okay, to this year. So we're not able to create a new Luis resources lagi. Okay. Macam contoh the early video of Microsoft just now, they uses the Luis. It's like a chat bot lah, okay, chat robot, intelligent bot, where you can macam Siri lah, okay, macam Siri dalam apa iPhone tu. So Luis ni, okay, then it had to be mungkin because of a new chat GPT tu yang Luis ni kena retire awal. So Microsoft had recommended to us to migrate Luis application to conversational. So dia tak retire but been upgraded and renamed into a new naming. Dia tak pakai Luis lagi. Luis LU is actually the learning understanding. So dia tukar ke conversational. Dia tak learn lagi lah. Okay, it's more to not one. So when you learn, okay, it's one way kan. If you converse, it's two ways. Okay, conversational language understanding macam CLU lah. Okay, to benefit from continued product support and multilingual capabilities lah, multilingual languages lah. Okay, and Luis actually require more example before this lah. Okay, require banyak contoh, more example to generalize concept and intent dengan entities. Nanti we'll cover in the later topic. Okay, manakala, okay, what's the difference between Luis dengan CLU? If we use CLU, conversational language understanding, is more advanced machine learning. Dia guna machine learning to reduce the burden on customer, okay, by requiring significant less data. So this multilingual support for model learning dengan training. So that's Luis. So dia dah retire and change to CLU, which we call conversational language understanding. Okay, so we are next. Saya kena stop ni dulu. Don't know why it's okay. So next, ini yang terbaru. So this is Copilot. Copilot by Microsoft 3. Saya nak tunjuk Google punya services, tapi this is more on Microsoft. So we introduce Microsoft more than Google lah. So this is the new, just a recent sebenarnya dalam 17 last month been launched lah, Copilot. It is very fascinating kan, yeah, especially when you, okay, when us, yeah, as we have a domain Unimas, okay, and we subscribe, Unimas subscribe to Microsoft punya accounts, yeah, we have the license, okay, so when it comes into like apa Microsoft punya product kita guna Edge, it's a pro version lah, of course, yeah, and apa lagi and Microsoft Office more pro. Okay, even we can use WebEx freely. Okay, because we must have subscribed for Microsoft. That's the advantage of using for branding lah. Okay, and let us discuss on kita dah tunjuk you have seen all the application study, so that's part of application for natural language processing. Okay, so this is actually the area an area of AI. Okay, and really makes sense of the written, okay, ingat the text and verbally lah, okay, speech lah, okay, written and spoken language. Okay, so here are 5 categories of say NLP. Okay, the first one, let me explain one by one lah, okay, for your understanding. Okay, so text analysis and entity recognition. This is a part of my work last time dari text to model contoh. This is my research area lah. Okay, ada juga yang buat text to arts. Okay, ada juga. Okay, text to contoh video, text to audio, text to speech can. It's doable. Okay, so this text analysis and entity recognition, okay, is where you need to analyze the text document. Yang penting is data is mainly more on text lah, text ataupun dalam spoken speech to determine its this points or to identify entity it mentions. Okay, macam contoh dates. Okay, macam contoh yang untuk use case tu, of course lah, we want a verb, process dan actor, the entity lah, noun. Okay, and then for contoh yang lain, tarikh, okay, dates, mungkin name, okay, mungkin places, mungkin people, mungkin building, and then and so forth. Okay, like for example, you can think of a company, okay, might use AI to analyze the industry punya magazine article to try to find article that mention their products or even the executives or even to determine the main subject of each article. Dia macam summary lah, okay, and like for example, Bing covers all of it. Macam like for example, if you see, okay, kalau nak guna Bing ni, okay, you need to use Microsoft Edge lah. Okay, so Bing, okay, Microsoft Edge is actually the browser name. Like for Google, kita ada Chrome. Untuk Microsoft is Microsoft Edge panggil. And for Google, Google search engine lah. Okay, for Microsoft, we call it Bing. So this Bing, okay, you can chat with the chatbot. Okay, ini saya tak pernah try, but you can ask them anything. But if you want to compose, okay, you can use this compose lah. Okay, so they will show you. The only thing mungkin the image I haven't tested out because it just recently came out kan untuk ChatGPT. There will require perhaps less than 1 month's time for them to upgrade. Okay, mungkin kat sini nanti you can able to upload your image. Okay, describe this image or even from this text to image. Okay, from what one of, let me show you. Let me show you the example. Okay, saya belum try, but I saw few of the lecturer lah, okay, yang guna ChatGPT ni untuk keluarkan image. So very interesting. Okay, let me show you. Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at his looking at his Facebook now. Okay, so this is Prof. Abdul Karim lah from USM. Okay, so this is the apa dia suka nak explore. Okay, so this is from the text. So they're gonna make. I guess apa so everyone knows mid journey is what kan. Okay, so you can write down the phrases kan, macam contoh the mid journey punya prompt. Okay, create an image that captures the strength and the silence of a woman in the midst of hardship. Okay, the most important is your phrases are very detailed. Okay, to at least the engine will draw, even construct, okay, based on your text lah. Okay? And then the image should depict an old Malay woman, okay, cooking on wood stove inside a dilapidated sack. The weather should be raining, adding to the melancholic tone of image. Despite the difficult circumstances, the woman should have to look to determination, strength on her face. So very detailed, conveying a sense of hope and perseverance. Ni lah semua ni. Dia punya language pun so jargons lah, terlampau call it literate sangat kan. So this is not a real image. So this is actually generated by the Midjourney lah. Okay. So ada yang bagi tahu tadi Midjourney kan, saya belum test lagi, okay, because this is out of my macam scope lah. Okay, maybe next time akan cuba lah. Okay, so currently I'm preparing for my research proposal. Okay, and yeah, I'm playing around with ChatGPT. It's but it's not illegal though. Okay, but of course you need to double check again whether does the answer correct ataupun tak lah. Okay, memang pun it's not really that crime for you to test on it. Okay, but be careful lah if you utilize it 100% semua copy paste from what have been generated. Okay, memang dah kira illegal lah. Okay, so banyak lagi yang dah dia cuba, like for example, okay, dia gunakan like a local punya image, okay, Malay fisherman, Malay woman, okay, a small wooden sampan, even wearing torn. So this is even a poem. Okay, ChatGPT able to generate a poem when you ask them to generate a poem regarding the old fisherman, and even generate, okay, the apa nama, the image, the art, okay, like what Prof. Karim experienced where ChatGPT, this is good side of ChatGPT, where ChatGPT helps him to improve his English, okay, and he actually struggled to find the right English word for meneba jala. Of course, he cast his net kan, so yang tu. So dalam masa sama kita belajar juga, jangan dia yang bagi all the information and we just get the information without even learning from it. So kena ada two ways lah, macam ada conversational kat situ. Okay, so this is an example of using Midjourney and as well as ChatGPT. So it's a lot of things that you able to explore. Okay, please don't stop yourself from exploring, dan don't do explore. Okay, jangan macam okay malas lah nak explore. Okay, just give me information. You need to explore. Even okay, like myself, I actively aktif dah untuk join Twitter. I would prefer Twitter rather than the rest lah. Facebook I dah jarang masuk dah. IG, Instagram I jarang masuk dah. I would focus on Twitter lah. Okay, some of the information, of course, some are facts, some of them facts, and even some are fake, yang tak betul lah. Yeah. Okay, let's move to the topic. Okay, that is text analysis and entity recognition lah. Yeah, so and then there's sentiment analysis. Okay, sentiment you nampak kat sini, muka dia sad and muka dia happy. So this is expression. Okay, so it can say it's it's using, of course, NLP to detect the emotion and as well as opinions of customer. Even from the text, you dapat kena pasti dia marah. Okay, ada kata seruan. Okay, even so okay, this person is actually in not in a very good mood. Okay, so usually we will refer to the customer lah. Okay, macam customer opinion or the user. Okay, from the text ataupun from the speech data. So this is a common form of a text analysis. Okay, that calculate the score lah. Okay, macam daripada text tu dia score from all the term, the word that it uses, okay, in the comments. Contoh dia banyak yang negatif. Okay, indicating how many positive ataupun negative text extract. Okay, so this can help businesses improve their product, okay, services, okay, marketing strategies based on the customer feedback. Itu yang kita tak tahulah, sentiment analysis. Okay, ingat tu sentiment analysis. Then the third one is speech recognition synthesis. Okay, so it is increasingly common to encounter AI system that can recognize your spoken language, okay, as input as synthesized spoken output lah. So macam using natural language processing to convert speech signal into a text ataupun command. So this can help people use voice-based interfaces such as you have smart speaker, even you have voice assistant macam you ada Siri ke atau you ada Google voice ke kat sini, or dictation software. For example, an in-car system might enable hand-free communication by reading incoming text message aloud and enable you to verbally detect a response. Macam some of the of course for autonomous car, there are all AI features available, like yang semi autonomous. Okay, mungkin kata X, even our Proton pun ada. Okay, when you call, okay, switch on the apa nama ni, radio. Okay, apa lagi, switch on the light, contoh dia. Okay, they will trace your voice. Of course, you need to be loud lah, and then recognize, okay, the speech. Okay, then the fourth one is machine translation. Okay, so this machine translation is used to automate translation of written ataupun spoken language. Okay, written ataupun spoken. Okay, so using NLP to translate text ataupun you punya speech tu from one language to another automatically. So this can help people to communicate across different languages and of course lah cultures. Okay, and access information in foreign language. For example, okay, like one of the answer just now macam filtering your incoming email kan. So this is an inbox add-in. Okay, might be used to automatically translate incoming ataupun outgoing email ataupun conference call presentation system might provide simultaneously transcript of speakers word in multiple languages. Okay, sama juga yang macam dalam asalnya YouTube, even Facebook, they have embedded of course English lah, okay, as a main language. Ada juga bahasa Melayu. Okay, saya tengok Malay language. I'm not sure if Chinese character dia ada juga. Mungkin you have to enable the Chinese character. Asalnya mungkin ada. For saya tengok when I watch Tanyalah Ustaz kan. Okay, and it's live. Okay. And then there's subtitle bawah dia. Memang dia agak lambat sikit daripada di TV. Okay, yang streaming TV dengan yang streaming kat Facebook lambat sikit. But the word is exactly dalam bahasa Malaysia lah. Dia punya subtitle. Okay, you can try it out. Okay, then we have the semantic language modeling. Okay, so this language can be complex, okay, and so that multiple phrases might be used to mean the same thing. Okay, dia macam sinonim, macam sama. For example, like a driver might ask you, okay, where can I get a gas near here? Okay, so what's the location of the closest gas station? Ataupun give me direction to a gas station. So banyak dia punya lenggok-lenggok. Although the objective is one thing lah, untuk isi minyak, to find apa petrol station. Okay, kalau in US of course they use gas lah. So all of these mean essentially the same thing. Okay, so a semantic, again semantic, benda yang tersirat. Okay, something that the system need to know lah, dig up. Okay, what's the meaning? Okay, understanding of the language being used is required. Okay, what actually the driver needs. So an automobile manufacturer could train a language model to understand phrases ni. Banyak dia punya apa snippet of phrases need to cap inside the database lah and respond by displaying appropriate satellite navigation direction kat sini untuk pergi mana gas station. Yeah. And there's actually another additional this text summarization. This is actually found in saja nak tengok. So what actually natural language processing. So this text kat sini another addition, okay, is text summarization. Tapi tak apa. Okay, so yang penting is actually what stated dalam slide ni. Okay, additional daripada ChatGPT is actually text summarization. Okay, text summarization using natural language processing to generate concise summarize of long text such as articles, report, or books. This can help people save time and get the main point of document without reading the whole text. Okay, I have one example to give you. Okay, so this okay, we call it Quillbot. If you heard of Quillbot before. So this is one of the NLP application. Can rephrase, okay, the word. Okay, it can summarize the long paragraph. Okay, it can do citation. It can apa lagi ya? So the keep on improving, adding. Okay, but skip. I guess dalam masa ni. Official, I guess.
Imagine becoming the best writer in the world at the click of the
Berapa
button.
lama?
Word2 is an AI-based
Okay.
writing.
Right? And looking at advertisement. Citation demo. Okay, grammar tools. Okay, I guess this one. Dia tak tunjuk the detail of billboard. So you can explore actually. Okay. Cuma dia tak. I don't know what happened to the server. Okay, ada. Okay, my one is actually premium. Okay. So you can change the text. Okay, can for a phrase, can do grammar check, can check for plagiarism. Co-writer, as I told you, okay, jangan main-main don't play around with ChatGPT semua kan, or even you plagiarize, okay, from other work. Okay, so lecturers able to trace it out. We have turn it in. Okay, jadi input kita ada. So this is Unimas punya subscription. So student tak ada. So ini saya tahu. Okay, we can see that. Okay, berapa. So I know you have experienced this before. Okay, macam contoh. Okay, ini my anak buah ni tanya. Okay, sama ada tak dia tiru apa-apa. So we have 18 kat sini. So you see lah. Okay, mana yang dia tiru. So dia check from here. Okay, uji management system contoh. So dia suruh check. Because some of course in need to pay lah, but this is from Unimas for lecturer lah. Okay, so account from Unimas. Saya tahu. So ada hari tu memang few juga I caught. Okay, of course not my student. Okay, I examine the as an examiner for one of final year student. Okay, and I caught two. Okay, student different year. Okay, they copied thesis from student dari universiti lain. So exactly berapa persen? I guess it's 70%. So nampak kat sini. So jangan main-main. Okay, so if we caught you, okay, copying from the others, okay, was 0 marks lah. So you have to redo lah. Macam apa? Kira fail. So we have all of these tools. Some are subscribed through Unimas and some are our personal. Okay, we taking effort on to check whether for our own work as well, okay, and to check whether student apa nama ni plagiariate ataupun doing apa plagiarism lah yang penting the term. Okay. Okay, itu adalah text summarization tadi. Okay, there's a lot of tools, not just that, banyak, berpuluh, even hundreds of tools available now. Okay, due to open open source. Macam contoh Open AI, okay, was actually funded by Tesla kan, apa nama tu? Tesla company, and they are publicly available. So other researchers, other company uses all the findings ni untuk expand lagi company lain, company tu company ni. Okay, bila Microsoft take over, so dia dah mengamalkan pintu tertutup Open AI ni. So dia orang ni khas untuk produk dia orang. Okay, research dia orang khas untuk Microsoft lah. Okay, now. So they are under Microsoft. Even Louis pun especially created under Microsoft kan, and then there just easily bought other companies punya research, okay, products. Okay, belong to them now. So they are competing. Okay, Google has actually launched ChatGPT dia sendiri called BARD, B-A-R-D, but unfortunately bila the first launching, there's a few mistakes happen. So dia stop sekejap, so dia tengah senyap-senyap kat masa ni. Okay, Google still on their own gua sendiri. Okay, and we are waiting for, tak tahu Apple not sure yet. Okay, they said apa lagi? Dia ada dia punya, if you following the trend kan, okay, dia memang ada few companies actually exploring on AI ni lah. Okay, they are actually competing, okay, making money, finding fund, okay, for the researchers. Yeah, so kalau you tak, it's a good apa nama job prospect actually. Okay, you can become an AI developer, okay, data analyst especially lah, software developer even. So memang the work of computer science is very wide now. People are looking for computer scientists. Okay, there's no AI couldn't replace. Okay, we are computer scientists. We create, okay, AI application. Okay, unless the AI application is much more expert than us. Tak tahulah kita nak kerja apa. There's a lot of job available which were like clerk, administration, and then translator lah, copywriter lah. They are actually have replaced by this AI tools kan. Okay, it's quite sad lah. Okay. So AI replacing people, human work. Tapi as what I mentioned yesterday, okay, if you can't think of a creative thing to not thinking of, AI is replacing us, so you have to move forward lah. Jangan duduk aja nanti ujung-ujung you pun tak ada kerja. So you have to following the trend. Okay, of course, definitely our religion is become first lah. Okay, jangan terlampau sangat. Okay, you focus on this thing lah. Okay, definitely. Okay. Okay. Any questions? So tadi last kali tak perlu letak kat sini text summarization. Okay, text summarization would be under text analysis lah mungkin boleh. Okay, text analysis and entity recognition macam text summarization ada dekat where is it? Okay, let's see. So summarization, the translator or translator. Last time was only yang ni saja. Okay, they keep expanding. Okay, dia ada summarizer ni. Okay, like for example, okay. So let's see apa yang saya cari tadi. ChatGPT kot. Okay. Mungkin ada teks kat sini. Banyak-banyak. Okay lah. This. Paragraph. Summarizing. Okay, let's see. I want it short. Okay. Then summarize it. Microsoft help candidate stand out, gain confidence and get paid more. So dia ambil daripada sini saja. Not that intelligent for me. Okay, shouldn't. This is more to synthetic. Mana dia benda yang tersurat. You nampak kat sini, so dia ambil yang ni, ambil yang ni, ambil yang ni. So not really intelligent enough. Okay, dia cut sini. Mungkin ada bahagian ni yang important, right? Benda yang semantic is actually able to find another word for perhaps the latest trending technologies and what is actually 91% and what about the 9% of this. So dia ada kena opposite sentiment lagi back of this explanation lah. Mungkin dia boleh change to other word kat sini kan. So I say Quillbot ni perlu more intelligent lagi lah. Okay. So far I'm not using that for my ni. Saya already use plagiarism and as well as verified phraser lah. Okay. So tak macam for me ChatGPT of course it's the best tool lah so far. Okay. When you compare to mungkin Grammarly pun I got as well. Okay. I'm a tool person lah. Apa lah. So Grammarly, okay. Let's see. Okay, this is my lah. Okay. So this is I'm using for my proposal. So goodbye free rider kat sini, gamification framework to measure. So this is for SE Lab lah, for those who are taking SE Lab next year, for third year lah. Okay. So when it comes to apa nama ni? Grammarly. So this is premium. Okay. Premium version. So dia akan trace. Okay. Kalau dia tengok ada so this is all issue and plagiarism pun ada kat sini. So student hati-hatilah. Okay, we able to trace whether you plagiate ataupun tak lah. So hopefully saya tak check lagi plagiarism. So I can check the most accurate one is actually using the Turnitin, because Turnitin actually under Unimas lah. Okay, under CAM. Okay, so kat sini tak ada, just mungkin yang kat sini. So dia kata I ambil dari HIPAA punya. So far 1% saja, so no issue. So no issue. So these are examples of ChatGPT, apa nama ni, natural language processing, that which you should know. That's why I really like. That's why I score high in perhaps NLP. Mungkin sebab experience on using the text analysis in my job scope lah. Okay, mungkin you need to get information ataupun paling senang is use cases lah, macam application. AI application yang you tengok tadi yang saya share tu, okay, you can get the idea behind it. Okay, tak perlulah you beli semua tu, tak perlu. Okay, if it's not your responsibility untuk guna untuk your kerja, okay, for your task lah, okay, career. Okay, jangan paksa parents pula nak subscribe tu, tak, it's too expensive. Okay, so it's for our work, so we have to subscribe lah to ease our work, because we have teaching to be done, publication to be published, okay, consultation lagi, mengajar semua lagi. So yeah, it helps. Okay, bagi saya it helps much. Okay, yang tu done, yang ni dah. Alamak. Okay, cepat-cepat. Okay.
The Language Understanding Intelligence Service. enables developers to build self-learning language understanding models easily.
Ini susah nak keluar ni. Sekejap. Okay. So I have to skip up. Okay, now, okay, we move to conversational AI. Itu macam for Azure, as I mentioned just now, to change Luis ni kepada si apa ni, conversational understanding. Okay, si apa tadi? Lupa, understanding. So this conversational AI built on other AI. Okay, in particular NLP, but also machine learning. Apa pun, okay, ada machine learning. So machine learning is really important. Okay, very important. Dia ada, as you remember, dia ada apa? Supervised and unsupervised data tadi lah. Okay, so this machine learning, if it relates to data in term of text, in term of images, in term of audio dan video tadi kan, of course machine learning will need to use. Macam machine learning is actually the engine back end dia. Okay, and it's also potentially untuk computer vision juga. Okay, in general, okay, when people use the term conversational AI, okay, they're referring to bots. Okay, nampak kat kanan ni. Okay, so referring to bots. Yeah, so people often associate the term bot ni with a chat interface ataupun a website. Okay, kita selalu macam, my thinking is okay, bot is actually dalam AirAsia, dalam Celcom semua tu ada chatbot kat tepi tu. Okay, actually dia macam if you learn expert system. Okay, expert system dia ada prologue untuk say what happen if you choose yes, what happen. Dia macam tree lah. Okay, yes akan pergi mana, no akan pergi mana, macam flowchart juga. Okay, and actually this is just a very common way to interact with bot. Okay, bots can be connected to multiple channels, okay, which include your email even, okay, social media, okay, apa lagi, telephone and so on lah. Okay, bots. Okay, bots are used in multiple different scenarios. Okay, it can be like given here. Okay, multiple channel like customer support. Contoh dia for answering. Okay, for answering the frequent asked questions, or even gather information before you handle off to a human customer service. Okay, representative. Contoh not fully. Okay, kita nak harapkan, okay, we are depending on the computer lah, okay, on the robot, on the bots to handle every cases. Okay, sometimes, okay, tekan hashtag untuk for you to speak to human. Okay, human customer service still really important, especially macam contoh, where's your parcel? Where's setiap pagi tahu, okay, your parcel is at airport. Okay, the airport saja. Sampai 4-5 hari semua ke airport. Then you need to call lah the human. Okay, what happened here? Okay, why the system said my parcel is still at the airport? So when you call, oh, actually they are currently sending your parcel now. Dah. So ada masalah lah. Okay, so second scenario would be a reservation system. For example, you enable user to book cinema ticket, flights ataupun restaurant table. Contoh dia. So many more reservation system, then digital assistant, for example, and in-home ataupun cell phone based virtual assistant that can perform based on your instruction. Contoh dia. Okay, online ordering, okay, healthcare tu macam automated diagnosis based on the symptom lah. Okay, and
ada mesej kat kamu ada kelas apa. Tapi kamu dah main di 28 sebenarnya.
Okay. Then you have office productivity, like for example, helping out users to find relevant corporate resources for a particular task. Contoh dia. So this is where you find conversational AI lah, bots. Okay, yang saya ingat through Unify ada TM, Celcom ada, AirAsia ada, MAS, not sure, not usually using it frequently. Okay, so yang itu. Okay, then you have natural language processing done. Okay, and the conventional AI in Azure. Okay, you can relate the service in this set to the NLP tasks. Okay, so these are the NLP tasks tadi lah. Okay. Yang ni. Alamak. Okay. Okay, the one that with text. Let me show you. Let me separate the text slide from the video. Okay. So yeah, ini. So these are the application lah. Okay, text analysis, entity recognition, sentiment analysis, speech recognition, synthesis, machine translation. Okay, macam contohnya machine translation, of course they need machine learning juga kan. And semantic language modeling. Okay. Okay, this is conversational AI or bots. Okay. Then you have language NLP with conversational AI. Okay, language detection, key phrase extraction, entity detection. Okay, sentiment analysis ada juga sini, question and answering, conversational language, CLU ni lah. So this is where apa tadi, Louis has been replaced by this CLU lah. So they are focusing on CLU. Okay, and ChatGPT is a part of CLU lah. Okay, so speech, text to speech. Okay, text to speech macam contoh translation. Okay, translation ataupun dalam Google tu you text, okay, how do you pronounce this word? Okay, and then they translate it to apa? They will transform it to speak, to speech. Speech to text is like Siri lah. Okay, speech translation. Okay, for more on dictation macam dictionary contoh lah. Kita pun di translate for apa language to one language to another language. And you have the platform for conversational AI. So you could build your own custom NLP models using machine language like Melanau kan. Okay, so mungkin okay we are currently the Melanau Association have come up with dictionary. Tapi dictionary dalam bentuk buku lah. Okay, it hasn't been launched yet for Matudaro lah. So I'm a part of the AJK. So we can use this machine learning to have okay dictionary, an e-dictionary for Malay to Bahasa Melanau ataupun Bahasa Melanau to Malay. Same with Bahasa Iban. Okay, Dr. Suhaila have done, but not using this Microsoft Azure. Okay, but this is a good way of utilizing okay this technology, which is cloud computing. Last time was our time when we did okay NLP is mainly standalone. Okay, it's like okay we use these tools from University of Stanford contohnya untuk come out with our what we the goal. Okay, our goal is actually we have to input okay indigenous language, okay minority language. Kita nak buat dictionary, e-dictionary. So here, okay, we have a platform in cloud base as well, so everybody able to access it, okay, freely, globally lah. Okay. Of course, not really freely lah because we are currently using Microsoft kan. Okay, mungkin ada part yang di free lah. Okay, so here, particularly Python yang paling penting. If you want to dig into this AI, okay, I really encourage you to learn Python from now. If you first year, you learn from now. Second year is not too late yet. Okay, you can learn it the Python package dalam MSLE dalam Microsoft ni pun. Okay, actually there's Python juga kalau tak silap saya. See. Okay. Suruh saya ni. Okay, let's see. This one. Learn. Okay, learn.microsoft.com. Kat sini, okay, you type in Python. Python in Azure. Okay, Python for beginner. So it's not too late now. Okay, you can go through. It's actually same with when you learn C, kan? So Boolean type, string, mathematical operation, okay, the list and loop dictionaries, okay, function error checking. So this is really important. Okay, now the language, okay, frequently used by AI lah. Okay, sebab dia very simple language. I don't have any background in Python, but if you have background, if you have base in C++, yes. Okay, Python dia ada dual. Dia boleh boleh structured, which is C type of language. Dia boleh OO. Dia boleh C++ juga, C# even. Dia ada two type of nature dia. Okay, structured and OO. So good to explore. Still not too late for you. Kalau nak berkecimpung lah, you want to focus on AI ni boleh. Okay, so we're going to explore all of these services in the next slide lah. Okay, on the language, on the speech and the translator, and as well as the Azure bot service platform for conversational AI. So this building, okay, natural language solution in Azure. Okay, give you some of the examples. So this is analyzing text. Okay. Okay, I had given a text here. Okay, when we wrote down in a text box, I had a wonderful vacation in France. Okay, you want your machine, okay, to find what is predominance of this language. So it will identify it as in English. Okay, because it had I had. So this is available in English dictionary lah, of course. Dia boleh cari. Okay, and sentiment, okay, is 88%, which is positive. So wonderful vacation. If you put it, I had a bad experience vacation, it might be less than that. Okay, negative even. Okay, positive. Okay, so key phrases, okay, is actually, because why sentiment is positive, wonderful vacation. Okay, and lastly, okay, entities is France. Okay, you can give France. So this is the entity, key phrases, okay, sentiment, and predominant language. Okay, so when you analyze the text, okay, then speech recognition, okay, and the synthesis. Okay, so this is another next component. Okay, where the speech service, okay, you use the speech service provides speech to text, okay, speech to text API that can use to implement the text recognition functionality lah. Okay, and the service support text transcription in more than berapa? Gagak 60 languages, 60 languages around the world lah. So this is not include the minority language like our local languages lah, ke Iban ke Bidayuh ke Manau ke, okay, and so forth lah. Okay, but it include Malay, bahasa Malaysia, okay, Mandarin, Tamil, okay, of course, okay. So a bubble, a speech bubble with an arrow kat sini, okay, pointing to the text. Okay, use the speech to text, okay, capabilities of speech service to transcribe audible speech to text will be displayed lah. Okay. And then conversely, okay, so the text to speech, okay, and then ni you punya speech tadi ni kepada text. Okay, bila you converse balik, okay, text to speech tu dua boleh, vice versa lah. You conversely, okay, the text to speech can synthesize audible speech to text with the option to specify regionally, okay, and where appropriate voices of human-like pronunciation. So you need to practice. It's good to practice your English. Okay, like myself, I memang suka nyanyi. Okay, lagu English ke. So to apa? Untuk train you punya tongue. Okay, train your tongue. Kalau you nak British accent ke, American accent ke, belajar lah. Okay, you of course you have to converse with somebody. Okay, or even you chat with maybe foreigners. Okay, or even you can sing pun boleh lah. Paling senang is nyanyi lagu English lah. Okay, lagu yang elok-elok lah. Okay, so yang ni teks kepada speech arrow. So senang faham lah, speech recognition and synthesis. Okay. Then you have next is translator. Ini senang lah. Okay, translator service. Okay, bonjour, hello. Okay, and then speech service. Okay, from your speech ni kepada service. Ni text kepada text, ni speech kepada text. So the translator service enables you to like translate text between lagi more than 60 languages. Okay, and you can also translate audible. Dipanggil audible speech service. Okay, so ingat kat sini, di highlight kat sini kalau ditanya, okay, what are the services provided by Microsoft Azure? Okay, for translation. Okay, Microsoft Azure provide translator and as well as speech services. So which has the ability to produce translated output in text ataupun audio format. Okay, so ni tak ada masalah, you biasa. And then you have conversational CLU ni. Ingat balik yang apa tadi Louis tadi. Louis will be replaced in 2025. Louis akan di replace oleh CLU. CLU memang dah lama ada. Okay, and then this Louis ni is a chatbot tu tadi macam Siri juga. Okay, to listen and then to generate something lah. Okay, based on generate request. So I guess due to ChatGPT ada engine tu, so they have replaced. Actually they said okay, they replace CLU ni. Actually sebenarnya ChatGPT ada engine sendiri yang dia orang belilah. So what for you have invest berapa billion for ChatGPT, so you replace yang ni lah. So here conversational language understanding where apa nama ni, the language service which enable you to train okay, you train apa nama, interpret natural language command. So you have your utterance kat sini. Okay, utterance is actually what you will say lah, phrase. Okay, phrases. Okay, switch the light on. So this is the entity, the light. Okay, on. Okay, entity something to do with object lah. Oh, sakit ni. Lama sangat duduk ni. Okay, light on. Okay, this is the intent. On or off lah. Okay, so utterance are phrases that user might say or type. Okay, you can say using your speech. Okay, and you might type it. Okay, and then entities. Okay, specific item that are referenced in. Okay, so this is reference in the utterance. Utterance macam phrases tadi lah. For example, a language model for a home automation application, okay, might recognize household device such as light ataupun the fan. Macam okay, switch the fan on, contoh. Okay, switch the TV on. So an intent, okay, identifies the desired action. Apa action, on, off ke? For example, to switch something on. Okay, so this conversational language understanding usually what you talk to your Google ataupun Siri itulah. Okay. Then question and answering. Okay, so you can use the language service to define a knowledge base ataupun question and answering pair. You can create a knowledge base by entering question and answer lah, Q&A. So you can import an existing FAQ list kat sini. So you can even augment your question and answer in built-in chit chat punya sources, including common conversational exchanges lah kat sini. Yeah, so you can have your chit chat, consume the knowledge based on your client apps, including your bots. Okay, after you create the knowledge base. Okay, so semua this knowledge base are based on what you have collected QA. Contoh lah, macam kalau saya nak tanya macam LI, especially for industrial training, kan banyak soalan student. I'm a coordinator for industrial training, so it's a lot of repeating same question from student. So I'm gonna list it out. Okay, put it in my LI knowledge base. I'm gonna train a model based on the question answering database and publish it as a service. So this will become the bots lah. Okay, LI bots, saya kata chatbot lah. So bila student tanya, okay, question, so actually the answer kept in my knowledge. The questions kept, and there might be phrases that semantically different, secara syntactically Okay, it's different but semantically are the same. Contoh dia, okay, similar, synonym. So jawapan dia of course lah sama lah. Okay, so that means the same. Okay, so client application as in particular bots can then consume the knowledge base and use it to determine appropriate responses to the user input. Good idea. Mungkin boleh guna Microsoft Azure for FAQ for industrial training. So, tak adalah penat nak jawab student tanya itu, tanya ini kan. Okay. Then we have next is Azure Bot Service. Okay, Azure Bot Service provide a platform for create, deploying and managing your bots. Okay, kebanyakan stories is about bots actually. Okay, so more to speech, text or text speech. So dia lebih emphasize on these bots. So with this Azure Bot Service, ni service yang di provide oleh Azure Microsoft. Okay, developer can use the Microsoft Bot Framework SDK to develop a bot and easily deploy and manage them in this Azure lah. Okay, you can have it in your email ke ataupun you punya browser kat sini or even you call lah, boleh juga. Okay. So by using Azure Bot service, you can easily integrate your bot with the language service for language understanding or even Q&A lah, question answering, and connect your bot to multiple channel such as you have web chat, post web chat, email, you can have Microsoft Team and etc. Others. So ni adalah example. Okay, tak susah kan nak faham. Cuma ialah the next step, if you understand the fundamental of AI, of course, which part you want to focus on. Mata chatbot ni menarik kan? Okay, so this is a trend now. Okay, you can explore especially for your final year projects. But bila you for FYP, okay, the thing is you apply. Okay, you have your data. Perhaps your data macam contoh saya tadi. Okay, I have a data on Melanau punya dictionary kan, and Melanau and Malay, dua-dua tu. So we have this Azure machine. Dia boleh connect them all together and then dia ada chatbot. So kalau dia tanya dalam bahasa Melanau, dia can interact to each other lah. Dia atau contoh, okay, we have our kids, my son form 2. Dia tak tahu bahasa Melanau pun, okay, and then I want to teach him in learning this mother tongue punya language kan. So minority language, so it's better for him to talk check the phrases, okay, the vocabularies, okay, in Melanau contoh dia, even Bidayuh semua. Okay, we have to preserve our minority languages. Okay, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so for lab, okay, you can explore text analytics, okay, on the language cognitive service, okay, to analyze the text, okay. So same thing, okay, ini adalah untuk kalau nak pergi virtual machine is up till pukul 5 nanti kan, so I don't want to take up your time. Okay, kalau boleh guna yang ni, I'm not sure whether you able to run on the cloud shell ni, okay, semua ni. Okay, so for better practice is actually still using yang mana dia ada, close it up. Okay, yang ni tadilah. Saya letak kat sini, kat notebook ni. Mana? The channel, manage channel ke mana dia pergi. Okay, so Teams. Okay, still getting familiar with this MS Team. Okay. Okay, kat sini. You ada lagi 2 jam setengah kau. You can try that. Mungkin after 5 dah boleh ke tak you access lagi. Okay. Back here. Okay, let me pass. Sekejap mana saya pergi tu ya. Manage voucher, find lab instances key. Okay, sini. Right. Okay. Sometimes I lost juga ni. Okay. Ke sini, pergi sini. Please. Okay, kat sini. Okay. Dah tua dah ni. I guess you guys still young lagi kan? Belum masuk 20 lagi. I dah 40 lebih ni. So, your lab, environment. Jangan tanya saya how to get here. So, ada berapa kali. So, you kalau nak senang, you pergi ke class note tadi. So, you can access. Ini if those who just joining in. Okay. Mungkin you boleh cuba. Nanti saya cuba after 5 ni. Whether they give us 2 days ataupun dia ada email. I got it up till 7 days. But tak apa. Okay. Kalau saya ada masa, I want to try this out. Terus ni pun baru. Sebenarnya masa dah terpimpin dulu pun tak ada. Yang environment. Lab environment. Masa I dulu lagi lah. Dia tak ajar pun. Okay. This is for those yang miss out the class this morning. So actually I've shown the tutorial lah on how you assess this lab virtual machine. So this is gonna depends on your machine as well as the connectivity lah of juga kan, tunggu ni. You can start on your own pun tak apa. Dia akan bagi 30 minutes for you to apa nama ni, to continue or masa you leave them out. So yang ni, okay, klik sini, capture password, okay, then you enter. Go to your mana ni. See. Here, yeah, go to portal. Jenis yang malas nak type ni. So, saya ada assistant kat sini. Enter. Klik je kat sini. Biasanya lah kan. Okay. Click again. Dia akan automatic type for you. Okay. Next. So, password dia lain-lain. Perasan password dia you login in, password dia akan randomly. Okay. Okay. Kalau nak besarkan sikit, besarkan sikit. Maybe later. Samalah. So ini actually Microsoft Azure punya Microsoft punya virtual machine dalam server dia, dalam server dia lagi. So what currently you use sama juga, tapi I'm not sure whether it's successfully done ataupun tak lah. Okay, but if they have provided the key, okay, tadi you masuk. So this and be a branch of artificial intelligence that deal with, so sama dia punya exercise jadi similar with the one here, computer vision. So this is computer vision. Boleh search kat sini dalam learn.microsoft.com. Okay, natural language. It's a flow. Wow. Okay. Kat sini. Jangan pergi sini. Okay, this is another level. Knows you are focusing. Ini saya nak explore juga nanti. So you refer here, so got analyze text with language service. So similar lah, exercise dia sama je, text analytic. Launch. Satu guna you punya ni sama je. So mana dia tadi? So this is it. Okay. So, ikut semua satu dalam approximately 1 jam from now. Okay, you can test this out. You buat nantilah. So I haven't finished up my lecture yet. Sekejap. Sikit lagi. Punya pinggang ni pun dah sakit dah lama sangat duduk ni. Okay. So next. So what are some capabilities include? Ni macam biasa 3 questions. So this kind of question will be similar with your exact the final examination lah. Cuma I rasa bukan 3 tapi mungkin 4 or 5 option. Dia punya soalan dia punya soalan lah. Jawapan aku 1 ataupun 2 dia boleh jadi. So later I give you some sample of examination lah, okay, for you to study, but actually you able to assess some of the practical test you need to do practical practice, bukan practical practices, test practices dulu sebelum you get your voucher tadi, as what Viola have mentioned this morning. For those who miss out the class this morning, okay, you can refer to Viola punya message. Okay, Viola, it was actually your senior who passed, okay, one of the student who passed the exam, batch 1 lah. So you are currently batch 2. Okay, boleh bagi jawapan 1 to 3, okay, and A, B, C. So the first question, what are some capabilities include in language service? And the second one, you want to use language service to determine the key talking point in text document. So which feature of the service should you use? Okay, the last question, you want to create a knowledge base for bots. Okay, what service would you use? Okay. Bagi saya lah, kalau nak fahamnya lagi, okay, make sure ada contoh-contoh. You need to have like examples. Because some of the question might ask about maybe chat GPT. Some might be confusing sikit lah. You tahu jawapan dia. Like my first attempt tu, senang aja ni, tak ada masalah. Saya tengok ada 2 yang salah. So miss out the limit mark tu kan. Dia punya 85% kot, daripada contoh 100 tu 85% dan ke atas is lulus. Di mana ada 40% ke atas baru lulus tak. So it's kind of tough, but you can try. After you first attempt you tak berjaya, try out second attempt. Okay, after second lah, you kena belajar betul-betul. Okay. Any answer? Later on we have a session. Ke semua tak dapat. Aduh. Mana semua ni? Saya takut dia cakap sorang-sorang je ni. Are you able to talk or even write the text kat situ? Oh, okay, nasib baik. Because just now I dah on the ada switch on di apa nama ni? My QR. Okay, I guess I'm in my personal room, bukannya team room. So CBA. Yeah. Thank you, Shen. Siapa nak ni lagi? CBA. Might be correct. Or mungkin 1, 2 salah. Okay, try it out. Cuba. Give you time to do it. 5 minutes. CBA. Kalau C, you kata text analysis. Untuk language services, you ada text analysis, you ada custom question answering, you ada conversational value. Yeah, then the second one is more on language service to determine talking point. Okay, in text document. Okay, and you choose this key phrase, instruction. Okay, mungkin apa? You ada key kat situ, you letak key. Mungkin juga. Okay, you want to create a knowledge base bot. is you want to create a knowledge base for bots. Okay, what service would you use? CLU ataupun Q&A ataupun Azure punya bot service. So look at again the questions carefully. Okay. If possible, kalau boleh baca dari sumber Microsoft lah. But last time my first attempt is actually I referring to a lot of YouTube daripada apa? A lot of resources from the YouTube. There's a lot of examples ataupun trainers, okay, who teach Azure lain-lain. So for me, when I see this kan, oh sebenarnya from learn the Microsoft tu, you ada everything. My instructor didn't instruct us. Mungkin ada, tapi mungkin I was too busy that time. Okay. And yeah, it's important for you to score jugalah. Okay, mungkin some trainers they are mainly more on business oriented kan, dia tak kisahlah. Okay, harap you gagal je. And then the second attempt, okay, the first attempt free contoh dia, second attempt you need to pay. Like myself, okay, they give second attempt tu free juga. Saya ingat berbayar kan, of course I don't want to take. Okay, it's cost like 99 apa dolar kan, 99 tu dah kira macam dekat 500 jugalah. So tak nak lah. Okay, so like this. Okay, second attempt kalau kiranya, okay, first attempt you tak berjaya, okay, second attempt still free lagi. CBA. Okay. CBA. Cuba lagi. CBB. CBB by Arif. Semua kebanyakannya CBA. CBC. Okay, you guys confused with the last question. Knowledge base for bots. Bots. Berbeza dengan Azure bot service yang at first mungkin you tengok apa beza Q&A and the bot service, okay? Apa pula CLU kan? Mungkin my explanation just now making you confused a bit, okay? But the most important is, you know, the term when you do exercises, okay? Banyak practices, exercises, tests, okay? You can compare the answer. Mungkin pemahaman dulu mungkin a bit confusing juga kan. So okay, kalau dah, okay, actually the answer is CBB. Jawapan dia CBB. So this part ni, dia question answering with language service. Dia bukan CLU. Saya tengok balik apa contoh CLU tadi. And CLU dia understanding aja. Okay, macam contoh, okay, penting lah. Okay, CLU is like Siri. It's like your Google, hi Google contoh. Okay Google contoh dia. So dia tak respon menjawab kepada, you tak converse dengan dia. Okay. And then for Q&A, dia ada balas. You tanya, dia balas. Contohnya dia balas. Dia language services lah. More to chatbot. Okay. And Azure bot lain lagi. Okay. So usually you confuse these two lah. Okay. Conversion CLU dengan the question answering. So do a lot of exercises tu yang penting. Practice. Okay. And okay, this is the summary. Okay, as you know, NLP is a branch of AI and deal with understanding and generating natural language. Okay, so speech dengan text. Okay, and we have 60 over languages. Okay, where we can train. Okay, the AI lah. Okay, machine. So NLP can enable applications such as you have your chatbots, sentiment analysis, machine translation, the text summarization, and many more. So this Azure actually offers a tool for building NLP solution, okay, such as you have the Azure Cognitive Service Language, okay, you have Azure Bot Service, you have Azure Machine Learning, and as well as the Azure few more lah, okay, database, yes. And so this NLP uses technique, okay, for linguistic, okay, for computer science, okay, for statistics, machine learning, even deep learning. Sekarang ni more towards deep learning. Okay, it's more to semantic, okay, punya understanding, and of course AI lah. Okay, for this, that is NLP. For conversational AI, okay, saya terangkan lebih rinci lah. So conversational AI is a subset of NLP that focus on creating natural and engaging interaction between human and machine using NLP. Okay, conversational AI can be used for various purpose like customer service, okay, entertainment, education, healthcare, and more. Okay, and it's uses the voice ataupun text lah. Okay. And for apa lagi? Natural processing, okay, and conversational AI. So ni adalah combination dua-dua ni. Okay, so it's provide comprehensive service and tool for building NLP conversational AI solution dalam cloud. Ini kita ada cognitive service, language tadi, bot service, ingat tu. Yang tadi, like for example, given bot service ni adalah services dia. Okay. And transaction dah, apa lagi, conversational language understanding, questioning answer, Azure bot service. Okay, mungkin at first you feel that it's very confusing. Okay, sebab you bukan doing research on NLP. Okay, but try out to mungkin lukiskan mapping code. Okay, text analyzing contoh lah. Okay, it might be confusing at first. Okay, bila you nak dapatkan ketiga the six building block solution dalam Azure ni. Analyzing text macam mana, speech kita tahu dia relates to speech. Ni more to text, ni more to verbal speech. Okay, and audio contohnya ni translation can be text to text. Okay, text to speech, speech to text contoh dia. Okay, speech to speech mungkin boleh juga. Okay, speech to speech. Okay, and then you have conversational. So tiga-tiga ni mungkin you have to focus more lah. Apa contoh dia? So you can do your own learning. Okay, on this. Okay. So ni untuk explore processing dia lah. Sama ini kira lab tadi. Let me see. Ini saya dah tunjuk tadi kan yang ni. Ini ada Ahmad ni. Ahmad ni dan semua kat sini. Apa-apa pun, apa-apa link tu, dia banyak link tapi dia link to one. So learn.microsoft.com. Okay, so then we have there's a few use cases. Okay, this is provided by Microsoft. Okay, this is actually blog lah. Okay, stories from Uber. You can go through macam Uber, thousands of partners sign into the platform. Okay, the response time. Okay, ini adalah comments from the users. Contohnya ni.
We come to work every day to pilot, test, and launch new technology solutions. Real-time ID check is the latest technology example where we at Uber are constantly developing and testing new solutions to predict, prevent, and reduce security risks in ways that weren't possible before. It's through this partnership with Microsoft that we've been able to develop this technology quickly and ensure that every rider and every driver has an excellent experience. Real-time ID check is a prompt that appears in the driver's app, asking them to take a self-photo. We can do a check in real time to make sure that that identity of the person who took the picture matches the account holder who's been approved to drive. Doing that serves a couple of purposes. Drivers know that their identities and their accounts are being protected, and riders know that the driver who they're with has been screened.
Jen? Yeah.
Real-time ID is a smart technology. What that means is it factors in and addresses the edge cases. The situation where the driver is wearing glasses or a hat and they weren't in the identification that we have on file. The beautiful thing is it can recognize these changes and ask the driver to remove their sunglasses or retake the photo. The partnership with Microsoft Cognitive Services allowed us to go from idea to execution to implementation across the country in a matter of months. Already, we've been able to make thousands of rides safer, and very soon we're going to be making millions of rides safer through this technology.
There are a few case studies lah, success stories about Microsoft Azure relates to this AI, and ini adalah sejarah lah, much more interesting juga. It might take roughly around 10 minutes. So ada lagi dua, so you able to click on. Later on I share you the slide. So yang ni I just found out in the YouTube tadi, text to image revolution lah. Explain kat sini dari sejarah dia. Started in 70s ke 50s. So if you look at this, I also just found out.
7 years ago, back in 2015, one major development in AI research was automated image captioning. Machine learning algorithms could already label objects in images, and now they learned to put those labels into natural language descriptions. And it made one group of researchers curious. What if you flipped that process around?
Could do image to text. Why not try, doing text to image as well and see how it works?
It was a more difficult task. They didn't want to retrieve existing images the way Google Search does. They wanted to generate entirely novel scenes that didn't happen in the real world. So they asked their computer model for something that it would have never seen before.
Like all the school buses you've seen are yellow. But if you write the red or green school bus, would it actually try to generate something green? And it did that. It was a 32 by 32 tiny image, and then all you could see is like a blob of something on top of something.
They tried some other prompts, like a herd of elephants flying in the blue skies, a vintage photo of a cat, a toilet seat sits open in the grass field, and a bowl of bananas is on the table. Maybe not something to hang on your wall, but the 2016 paper from those researchers showed the potential for what might become possible in the future. And the future has arrived.
It is almost impossible to overstate how far the technology has come in just 1 year.
Leaps and bounds.
Oh, it's been quite dramatic.
I don't know anyone who hasn't immediately been like, what is this? What is happening here?
Could I say like waves crash, watching waves crashing? Party hat guy,
Foam dreams.
a coral reef,
Cubism.
caterpillar.
Dancing tackle.
My prompt is Salvador Dali painting the skyline of New York City.
You may be thinking, wait, AI-generated images aren't new. You might have heard about this generated portrait going for over $400,000 at auction back in 2018, or this installation of morphing portraits, which sought to be sold the following year. It was created by Mario Klingemann, who explained to me that that type of AI art required him to collect a specific data set of images and train his own model to mimic that data.
Let's say, oh, I want to create landscapes, so I collect a lot of landscape images. I want to create portraits. I train it on portraits, but then the portrait model would not really be able to create landscapes.
And same with those hyper-realistic fake faces that have been plaguing LinkedIn and Facebook. Those come from a model that only knows how to make faces. Generating a scene from any combination of words requires a different, newer, bigger approach.
Yeah, now we kind of have these huge models, which are so huge that somebody like me actually cannot train them anymore on their own computer. But once they are there, they are really they contain everything. I mean, to a certain extent.
What this means is that we can now create images without having to actually execute them with paint or cameras or pen tools or code. The input is just a simple line of text. And I'll get to how this technology works later in the video, but to understand how we got here, we have to rewind to January 2021. That's when a major AI company called OpenAI announced DALL-E, which they named after these guys. They said that it could create images from text captions for a wide range of concepts. And they recently announced DALL-E 2, which promises more realistic results and seamless editing. But they haven't released either version to the public. So over the past year, a community of independent open source developers built text-to-image generators out of other pre-trained models that they did have access to. And you can play with those online for free. Some of those developers are now working for a company called Midjourney, which created a Discord community with bots that turn your text into images in less than a minute. Having basically no barrier to entry to this has made it like a whole new ball game.
I've been up until like 2 or 3 in the morning, just, you know, really trying to change things and piece things together. And it's on about 7,000 images. It's just ridiculous.
Midjourney currently has a wait list for subscriptions, but we got a chance to try it out.
Oh, wow. That is so cool.
Yes, it has some work to do. I feel like it can be, it's not dancing and it could be better.
The craft of communicating with these deep learning models has been dubbed prompt engineering.
What I love about prompting, for me, it's kind of really, it has something like magic, where you have to know the right words for the spell.
You realize that you can refine the way you talk to the machine. It becomes like kind of a dialogue.
You can say like Octane render, Blender 3D.
Made with Unreal Engine.
Certain types of film lenses and cameras.
1950s, 1960s.
Dates are really good.
Lino cut or wood cut.
Coming up with funny pairings like Fabergé egg McMuffins.
A monochromatic infographic posted about typography depicting Chinese characters.
Some of the most striking images can come from prompting the model to synthesize a long list of concepts.
It's kind of like it's having a very strange collaborator to bounce ideas off of and get unpredictable ideas back.
I love that.
My prompt was Chasing Seafoam Dreams, which is a lyric from the Ted Leo and the Pharmacist song Biomusicology. Can I use it as the album cover for my first album? All right.
For an image generator to be able to respond to so many different prompts, it needs a massive, diverse training data set, like hundreds of millions of images scraped from the internet, along with their text descriptions. Those captions come from things like the alt text that website owners upload with their images for accessibility and for search engines. So that's how engineers get these giant data sets. But then what do the models actually do with them? We might assume that when we give them a text prompt, like a banana inside a snow globe from 1960, they search through the training data to find related images and then copy over some of those pixels. But that's not what's happening. The new generated image doesn't come from the training data. It comes from the latent space of the deep learning model. That'll make sense in a minute. First, let's look at how the model learns. If I gave you these images and told you to match them to these captions, you'd have no problem. But what about now? This is what images look like to a machine, just pixel values for red, green, and blue. You just have to make a guess, and that's what the computer does too, at first. But then you could go through thousands of rounds of this and never figure out how to get better at it, whereas a computer can eventually figure out a method that works. That's what deep learning does. In order to understand that this arrangement of pixels is a banana and this arrangement of pixels is a balloon, it looks for metrics that help separate these images in mathematical space. So how about color? If we measure the amount of yellow in the image, that would put the banana over here and the balloon over here in this one-dimensional space. But then what if we run into this? Now our yellowness metric isn't very good at separating bananas from balloons. We need a different variable. So let's add an axis for roundness. Now we've got a two-dimensional space with the round balloons up here and the banana down here. But if we look at more data, we may come across a banana that's pretty round and a balloon that isn't. So maybe there's some way to measure shininess. Balloons usually have a shiny spot. Now we have a three-dimensional space. And ideally, when we get a new image, we can measure those three variables and see whether it falls in the banana region or the balloon region of the space. But what if we want our model to recognize not just bananas and balloons, but all these other things? Yellowness, roundness, and shininess don't capture what's distinct about these objects. We need better variables, and we need a lot more of them. That's what deep learning algorithms do as they go through all the training data. They find variables that help improve their performance on the task, and in the process, they build out a mathematical space with way more than 3 dimensions. We are incapable of picturing multidimensional space, but Midjourney's model offered this, and I like it. So we'll say this represents the latent space of the model, and it has more than 500 dimensions. Those 500 axes represent variables that humans wouldn't even recognize or have names for, but the result is that the space has meaningful clusters. A region that captures the essence of banananess, a region that represents the textures and colors of photos from the 1960s, an area for snow and an area for globes and snow globes somewhere in between. Any point in this space can be thought of as the recipe for a possible image, and the text prompt is what navigates us to that location. But then there's one more step. Translating a point in that mathematical space into an actual image in pixel space involves a generative process called diffusion. It starts with just noise and then, over a series of iterations, arranges pixels into a composition that makes sense to humans. Because of some randomness in the process, it will never return exactly the same image for the same prompt. And if you enter the prompt into a different model designed by different people and trained on different data, you'll get a different result because you're in a different latent space.
No way. That is so cool. What the heck? The like brush strokes, the color palette. That's fascinating. I wish I could like, I mean, he's dead, but like go up to him and be like, look what I
Oh, that's pretty cool. Probably the only dolly that I could afford anyway.
The ability of deep learning to extract patterns from data means that you can copy an artist's style without copying their images, just by putting their name in the prompt. James Gurney is an American illustrator who quickly became a popular reference for users of text-to-image models. I asked him what kind of norms he would like to see as prompting becomes widespread.
I think it's only fair to people looking at this work that they should know what the prompt was and also what software was used. Also, I think the artist should be allowed to opt in or opt out of having their work that they work so hard on by hand be used as a data set for creating this other artwork.
James Gurney, I think he was a great example of being someone who was open to it, started talking with their artists. But I also heard of other artists who got actually extremely upset.
The copyright questions regarding the images that go into training the models and the images that come out of them are completely unresolved. And those aren't the only questions that this technology will provoke. The latent space of these models contains some dark corners that get scarier as outputs become photorealistic. It also holds an untold number of associations that we wouldn't teach our children, but that it learned from the internet.
If you ask for an image of a CEO, it's like an old white guy. If you ask for images of nurses, they're all like women.
We don't know exactly what's in the datasets used by OpenAI or Midjourney, but we know the internet is biased toward the English language and Western concepts, with whole cultures not represented at all. In one open source dataset, the word Asian is represented first and foremost by an avalanche of porn.
Yeah, it really is just sort of a infinitely complex mirror, you know, held up to our society and what we deem worthy enough to, you know, put on the internet in the first place and how we think about what we do put up.
But what makes this technology so unique is that it enables any of us to direct the machine to imagine what we want it to see.
Party hat guy, space invader, caterpillar, and a ramen bowl.
Prompting removes the obstacles between our ideas and images, and eventually videos, animations, and whole virtual worlds.
We are on a voyage here that is, it's a bigger deal than just like 1 decade or the immediate technical consequences. It's a change in the way humans imagine, communicate, work with their own culture. And that will have long range good and bad consequences that we are just by definition not going to be capable of completely anticipating.
Over the course of researching this video, I spoke to a bunch of creative people who have played with these tools, and I asked them what they think this all means for people who make a living making images, the human artists and illustrators and designers and stock photographers out there. And they had a lot of interesting things to say, so I've compiled them into a bonus video. Please check it out and add your own thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.
And interesting when it comes to deep learning. Okay, as you notice that I didn't mention about deep learning. Okay, in the slide kan. Okay, so it's kind of new. Okay, bukan new lah. It's another level. Okay, let me find whether deep learning ada tak dalam ni. So this is customer. Okay, kita tak nak yang ni. Kita nak yang learn tadi. Didn't mention pun deep learning kan. This another. Oh ada deep learning ada kat sini. So train and evaluate deep learning model. So this is data science for machine learning. Okay, yang ini. Okay, kalau nak tahu. Tapi ni won't be covered in your test lah. So this is another level. After you cover everything yang empat ni tadi. So this is actually shows deep neural. So another upper level lah. Okay, of AI. Okay, so tengok kat sini basic mathematical concept. Okay, lagi classical machine learning. So machine learning is very important. And programming and with Python. So interesting kan? Okay, it's a very good video which I have promptly found. Okay, tadi. Okay, sebaik jumpa. Okay, and let me see yang last kali I want to share. Yang ni. So what do you think?
Or what your cat could possibly be yowling about so early in the morning. Well, powerful new technologies are helping researchers decode animal communication and even begin to talk back to non-humans. Advanced sensors and artificial intelligence might have us at the brink of interspecies communication.
That's another level of apa namanya exploration. Okay, so how the scientists are starting to communicate with animal and how this conversation actually forcing us to rethink. Okay, what if we can talk to other species? Okay, not just human. Kita boleh cakap dengan apa animals, insects, even dengan nyamuk pun kita akan cakap. So what do you think of the future, exploration kan dalam AI ni? Who knows? Dengan banyak-banyak, it's depending on the data that we receive. Data, you train the data, you get the model, and then the process. So that will be your goal lah. Itu possible juga kan? Okay, do you have any questions? I guess this is our last kompak cun pula tu. Okay, last class for today. Okay, thank you very much for attending this class. Okay, and would very much appreciate if you could switch on your apa nama ni? Oh, 12 orang je hari ni datang, tak apa. Okay, yang penting kita bergambar sat. Boleh? So, saya nak tengok people kat sini. Kalau boleh, switch on your camera. Okay, necessary kalau you bukan you are using your phone, tak apa. So you just want to snap picture lah. Gallery kan, gallery. Together mode. Kita mau kat mana? Sekejap, saya cari environment. Mungkin. Okay. Switch on your cameras, everybody. Walaupun tak ramai ni, 12. Malu, janganlah malu. Sebagai kenang-kenangan. Come on, come on. Cepat-cepat. Saya dah penat ni 2 hari ni. Good. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Kita tak lama lagi nak puasa juga ni. 24 hari bulan kan? Kata silap. 24 ke 23. Lagi-lagi everybody. Nak bagi tahu kat you yang lain. Photo session time. hopefully you enjoy. Okay, at least you get the informative apa nama ni information on AI. Okay, AI dengan Azure, Microsoft Azure lah. Deh, yang lain? Tak nampak kepala. Okay. Lain-lain lagi? Jangan malu. Tak nampak background pun. Where is the rest? Static. Where is the rest? Dah 50 tinggal berapa je ni Hopefully I we pass the exam. Okay, I can stop the recording.